is the sort of vertical test piece. Notice that I have changed the layer height here. That's to increase the speed of this print. See, 48 minutes. Normally I'd have it on 0.2. Let's put on 0.2 just to show you. And that's going to double the time. Now the quality, as warned by, you do get a warning in Kura to a certain extent that the quality will be reduced. But I'm hoping that I'm not going to be too impacted by the quality, so to speak. You see, I have quite a thickish shell thickness. Bottom layer, 30% infill. There's a retraction. I do have a E3D version 6 genuine hot end. 2 is said to be the maximum really. No plugins. Start code. There's stuff in the start code to like make mine wipe the RAM, wipe the nozzle, and the end code plays a tune. And it plays one tune at the finish, then it pauses and waits for the bed to cool and plays another tune. No plugins on this. The main change there is this layer height where I've changed it to 0.3 or in the actual print. I do try to minimize this. See, it's just like an L shape there. That'll cut down the time. And these are to stand like the square on. You only need the front and the back of the square, I think. So this is what I'm calling a vertical test. It's about 145 millimeters, 150 millimeters high. So it should fit most printers, I think. Obviously you can edit the file, but change it to suit yours. To a large extent it's like an L shape, 10 millimeters by 10, but it's got some pads on the bottom which is drawn up like, well, it's doing skirts first, but it's going to draw out these pads that to rest this actual square on, because the intention is to actually keep it on the bed until you've checked the square. Don't like remove it off the bed until you've checked it. So this has just started. It's about I think it's 50-minute print. I'm doing, as I tried to show you, quite a high layer height on this, so don't expect the quality to be too good, but by doing a higher layer height it saves print time. I am doing it, it is an L shape, like a right angle shape in a way, like a tower. And the reason I'm doing that is to save time as opposed to doing like a square shape going all the way up. Oops, try turn this light off, but then it makes it too dark. Then I get reflections on my I have this printer in a server cabinet. So as I say, it's drawn some like pads. So the pads are, this is like a woodworking square. I've had it quite a number of years. The pads are basically to rest like the base on, and then try and see how vertical it is. Well, front and back in a way, X and Y to a certain extent. Okay, go on to pause the video and I'll come back probably when it's finished. So there we are, it's starting to print the tower now. Well, it's making progress on the tower, I should say. These pads are actually supposed to be joined together with a thin piece of plastic maybe. I've set it too thin there to print. I'll just show you the Z and you'll see how much. Well, let's look at this one. I'll probably get less reflections. So you see how much it moves when it goes up the next layer. It's 30.3 at the moment, 30.6 now, 30.9 now, and 31.2. So it's going up the layer height I've requested, 0.3, which is quite a lot of layer height. Well, it's more than the normal 0.2 I do. So this will probably be quite a coarse model. I don't know how well the layers will adhere together. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. I'll just say yes, so it's doing like an L shape in a way now. Okay, let's pause the video. Well, it's coming up to 49 minutes. What height are we at? 114.6, 114.9, just gone on to it. The light here is because I am in the server cabinet I'm using as an enclosure. The thing on the back is like a cardboard shelf that's been hot glued on now, and that's, well, the intention there was to put a camera on. I've had problems with my camera, just a security camera that can watch the print remotely. Okay, I'll come back when it's finished. There we are, it's finished. What I was hoping to show you is actually that the tower was actually like moving left to right a bit. Oh, it's knocked the LCD 12864, which I have down here. I was a bit close to the heat bed. See, it plays a tune when it's finished. But then I ask it to cool down. Well, I tell it to cool down. And when it reaches 32, which is a temperature I want to be removing a part, I'm not going to remove this part. Or if I was going to, that's a temperature I would remove that. Elmer's glue stick on here, I ask it to play another tune. So I'll come back when it gets to sort of the temperature, pull down temperature. Well, the bed's had plenty of time to cool, so here's my big square here. You see, that's what these are for, is almost to stand it on there and stand it on the two things, so that's level. And yep, we can see that that is not on line. Did wobble a bit there when I touched it, so you're going to have to be careful with this. The one thing about these bases here is they do help support it. You see, about 5mm. Oops, it's actually moved. It's actually moved on the bed. Let's try and straighten that up a bit. So I want to be quite careful. I mean, just do it that way. And I think that's pretty straight, going up and down, like there. I'm not sure how yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, you could print out some of these like 1mm thick almost squares. Now that is supposed to be almost jointed up, but possibly the layer height is and such like stop it getting joined. I'm moving it over slightly when I do that. I'm going to move this square here and put that all under the edge of here, because I'm not sure if this could do with being further out these squares really. So I'll move this one off here, move it over here. That's the, give this a bit more rest on. Well, that's closed the gap a little bit, so it's about 3 maybe 4mm out of level there. It's moving about on the bed actually, because it's lost adhesion now the bed's cooled down. The question is, what can I do about it? The only thing I can really think about doing with it is actually physically trying to force the printer over. So here's a printer in my server cabinet. I have fitted a fan at the top. Well, there's 2 fans up there. There's a piece of carbon like filter for cooker hood thing. That's all I've got in the moment, but I hope to improve that actually. That's going off 12 volts, those 2 fans. I think they're 140mm. So like I say, the only thing you think of it is actually pushing like the whole frame, top of the frame over in that direction, while keeping the base pretty still. That's all I can think of way of lining this up. Now there are some commands in, I think it's rep wrap, where you can adjust it a bit. That's particularly if you have 2 like Z steppers, you can adjust it like 2 under separate control, even in Marlin under amps I think. Don't quote me on that. You can have like 1 stepper on an extruder port and presumably the other step on a normal port, and control them separately so that it can like allow for any lean like we've got here. Right, I'm going to actually push this over. I'm going to go off camera to do that. Well, I've tried pushing that over and it's just in a way almost too hard to push over. It's very strong. This is a metal frame, like metal brackets almost, steel or whatever. Well, while I think about what I'm going to do about this being out of level in a way, I thought I should try and show you this. This was 0.3 layer height, and it's come up pretty well actually. It's got some strength there. I can bend it, which I would expect because it's only 1mm like thickness to reduce print time. I've been holding this against my threaded rods, and it does look like, well, compared with the bed that is, that the threaded rods, I don't know if a bit low really. Let's sort of see there. So I see it does look a bit like, in relation to the bed anyway, that the either printer's outline or the threaded rod's outline, but the threaded rods are like, well, I mean the Z carriage is level with the bed, so to speak, or a gantry. So I'm going to have a think about this, what I want to do, how I'm going to do it. So there's the, I expected it to come out quite a bit worse than this. I'll try and get this as close as I can. So there you are, you can see it's come out like a lot better than what I expected it to come out that on this part. So there's my vertical sort of tower test. I'll put a link on this online.